Alright, and hello, and welcome to the first episode of Eclipse, a Star Wars story not to be confused with Oblivion, a Star Wars story. I'm joined with a much smaller party this time. We're going to go ahead and run down the roster of Imperial badasses that will be running through this side of the campaign.
So my name's Hyde. I am playing the monstrous roll card out of the system that we are using, which means I am part human, part monster. Though I do have a slight twist of a couple different monsters in me that I even myself don't know. But the main one that I do know is a reef or ref. I don't know how to pronounce it personally. From the arena in Star Wars. So I take form of that. That's kind of what I look like. Got the horns, some red, some skin similarities, tall and big. Normally just kind of angry all the time and trying to do my best to do good for the nation, where I serve my evil overlord.
Your evil overlord, the Empire.
I
Very
think he's a
cool.
good guy.
He does sound like a good guy. So next on the roster is Mr. Jason Price. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? I'm Creed. I play Jason Price, just a regular guy doing a job.
Cool. Does he have a background with the Empire or no?
No more than anyone else. Like, he sees it as a job that pays better than anything else he could have got.
Okay, so is he officially Navy or is he a contractor?
Oh, no, he is a stormtrooper. Went through the academies, did all that, and he made it far enough to become a stormtrooper.
Yeah, so I'm playing John T. Morgan, someone who has joined the Empire for basically revenge against the rebels, as someone close to him was killed in one of their bombing runs.
Ooh, that doesn't sound pleasant.
No.
So what race is John T? Is he human or is he a Xeno?
He is human.
I'm Ghoul. I play a Claudite ISB undercover operative. He stands about 6'2", black hair, brown eyes, sharp features, and otherwise nondescript, friendly face.
Describe what a Claudite is, Ghoul.
Claudites are the same race as Zam Wessel from Attack of the Clones. They're a shapeshifter. Personally, my favorite race in Star Wars.
Nice.
I'm really waiting for somebody to just randomly go, I'm a Wookiee.
So I am Final, and I will be playing Rook in this campaign. I play an ex-Republic commando turned Imperial commando upon the execution of Order 66. And I've been tasked with, obviously, as the rest of us have, been hunting down the rebels in this area. So, yeah, went through and ended up having to execute two of my other squad mates upon their traitorous actions in Order 66, but the other two of us survived, and eventually I got tasked on this task force by direct command of Darth Vader.
And now with introductions out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and read kind of the introduction to Eclipse. Okay.
Your random singing must be Star Wars themed music only.
I don't want to get copyright strike.
Transmission ID 400 789 632-32. Security clearance level 5. Begin transmission.
A holographic image of the Imperial symbol appears before the team assembled on the transport. You all have been chosen for your skills, though Command remains skeptical of whether or not you are fit for the task that you are being presented with. Your team, which shall henceforth be known as Task Force Eclipse, is being deployed to the planet of Jannundal, into a sector that has been suspected of rebel activity. Your mission: aid local forces in the hunt for these rebels while being discreet as possible. Should you deal with these rebels quietly and effectively, you will be compensated in whatever way you wish: promotion, referral, credits, etc. You will be deployed to the region's capital, Falcon. You'll be briefed on the situation further when you have set up shop in the Imperial garrison there. The transmission ends, and you are all left to the silence, save for the hum of the shuttle, as you are taken to the Imperial garrison in Falcon. You arrive without incident, and you are left by your escort to set up shop in your own private section of the garrison. Rook chose the class that allowed him to pick the different rooms in a hunter base. So what we did was we want to unlock all of these rooms eventually. So the ones that you currently have unlocked are bracketed in green. So upon arriving at the base, you guys are greeted by an Imperial officer who says his name is Tash, Officer Tash. Tash says, "Hello and welcome. I assume you are the members of Task Force Eclipse. I will be showing you to your rooms as well as your own little section of the garrison." He walks you to your bunker first. It is a one-story, solidly built construction. On the top, it's flat, so it has a landing pad for all of your vehicles. I know Jason has a particularly nifty vehicle that I am looking very forward to see in action. But I digress. All of your vehicles are parked up there. Any transports you acquire or may need, they're up there. And then inside, there are a bunch of empty rooms. Some of them aren't empty, of course. You've got the shield generator, the infirmary, and the briefing room that are already set up per the instructions of Rook. And so your current base comes equipped with a fully stocked infirmary, so if any of you guys get hurt, it's no biggie. You guys can also take extra medical supplies out on missions. Your briefing room has all local news, as well as any intel that you have generated through the course of your adventures. You can come back to that briefing room and you can ask me questions about what you've learned so far, and you can try and piece together stuff if you wish, but that's all local stuff. And then your shield generator, you actually have a smaller shield generator where it's localized to your section of the base, but it also feeds into the larger shield generator that defends the entire compound. So you guys are kind of it's kind of like a subsystem of the larger generator, but if the big one ever went down, yours would immediately kick in and it would still it would protect your bunker, so you would still have that layer of protection. You guys have rooms inside the regular compound, but you can also set up cots in any of the quote empty rooms in this bunker. So just let's do a little bit of play here. Rook, would you, and I'll ask the same question of all of you guys. Rook, would you set up a bunk bed, or not a bunk bed, would you set up a cot in the infirmary, an empty room in the an empty room in your section of the base, or would you take a cot or a bunk in the compound?
What do you mean compound? Like
So
the garrison in general?
yeah, the garrison in general, because for the listeners at home, the team has their own little private section of the base where they have multiple rooms they can use, but that is attached to a larger compound for the Imperials. So would you bunk out in the garrison, in your little place, or in your infirmary, which has already been set up?
Probably an empty room for now.
Just set it up. Are you a cot kind of guy or a sleeping bag kind of guy?
Back at base, I'll run a cot.
Okay.
But if I'm in the field, I'll carry a sleeping bag with me normally.
Understandable. It's kind of hard to lug a cot around in the field.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, the suit that I wear is already temperature controlled and everything, so I'd probably just sleep on the ground, honestly.
Cool. I'm down for that. Ghoul, same question for you. Would you sleep in the infirmary that's already been set up in one of the empty rooms, or in the garrison?
Most likely the infirmary.
Okay. And I have an important question for you. Are you disguised as a human, or are you in your Claudite, right? Claudite
I
form?
would be I would be looking like a human to just not unnerve everyone and to kind of keep everything at ease.
Okay.
But I don't assume that everyone would be perfectly fine with a Claudite running around.
No, I don't think they would.
Yeah.
The Imperials are notorious as xenophobes, so the fact that you're here in the first place well, let's put it this way. Not many people know that you are the way you are, and
Exactly.
we'll get to that in a little bit, but John T, actually, would you prefer to be called John Morgan or John T?
John Morgan.
Okay, so Mr. Morgan, would you be sleeping in the infirmary, in your section, or in the garrison?
He'll probably be sleeping in this section.
Okay, just an empty room, kind of like Rook.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Jason Price, would you prefer to be addressed as Trooper Price, Jason Price, whatever? Like, how would you prefer to be called?
I mean, during on-duty hours, probably by whatever number I was given. But Jason, just whenever else. He doesn't really care.
Okay. Same question for you. Would you be in in your section, in the infirmary, or in the garrison?
I guess I'll just take an empty room.
And then Hyde?
I would probably take his own room.
Okay, cool. So you guys are all in your section of the base, which is good. I do have a question for Ghoul before we get started with briefing for the first kind of mission. Ghoul, do your cohorts here know about your true race? Like, do these guys know of...
Only one.
Cool deal. All right, so you guys gather in the briefing room, and an officer is there. It's Tash. He seems to be kind of your liaison, and he addresses you and says, once you're all assembled, and says, "Thank you all for coming on such short notice. I am your liaison officer. My name is Officer Tash. I am going to be directly relaying missions to you until you are able to kind of find your own footing and assign yourself missions. Of course, you will be checking in with Imperial Command here to coordinate, just to make sure that we're all operating off of the same sheet of music, if you will." He taps a button on the holotable that's in the middle of the room, and a section of the city of Falcon appears. This is one of the downtown bazaars here in Falcon. Even though Jannundal is a developed planet, it is not, well, it's still an outer rim planet, so we still have suburbs where filth and scum tend to come together and just make things a real pain for our presence. So here is a spot that we suspect a rebel cell is operating out of, and he zooms in the section of the map. It's just kind of one block, but the biggest building you see on that, or in that space, is a rather large cantina and bar. And he says, "This seems to be a hotspot for the locals. We would really appreciate it if you could go in, make sure that this entire area is secure, and then extract if nothing is amiss. You will, of course, be given an escort of stormtroopers, and they will assist you in whatever way you need if you deem that, if you deem it necessary." Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, sir.
Hyde just
Yeah.
shakes his head no.
Can we
So-
expect any problems?
No, again, that particular dive bar, rather, is a hotspot for the pilots in that part of the city, so there's no telling what you could run into. You will have, again, a squadron of stormtroopers on standby, but for the most part, Command wants to see how you will handle any insurrectionist activity that you might find in that area.
All right then.
Your shuttle is on the roof, unless you prefer to use your own means of transportation, and he looks at you, Jason. You have the option of taking your ride out for a spin, if you so wish. Actually, anybody who has a vehicle can take theirs if they so wish.
Behemoth is my vehicle.
Behemoth. We're gonna have to have a talk about running around the city as a giant four-legged
Should I-
trinoceros.
Should I explain that for the rest of them who don't know?
Okay,
Wait,
so
Did you say Trinoceros?
I really enjoy the Trinoceros statement.
okay, so
Trinoceros?
the behemoth, aka a reek, was the rhinoceros-looking monster that attacked Padme Amidala, Anakin Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Geonosian arena. So Hyde is kind of a
Trinoceros?
yes.
You mean Triceratops? Or
Trinoceros. I meant what I said,
Okay.
and I said what I meant.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Can I please change my name to Trinoceros?
No, you may not be a Trinoceros. You can be Project Trinoceros. How about that? No,
They call me
Project Trinoceros. Okay, Creed, what the heck is the name of that vehicle? Is it an LAAT, just Imperial
No, it's
version,
an-
or?
Yeah, it's like an upgraded version of that.
It's an Imperial gunship.
Okay, so if for you listening at home, an Imperial gunship or an Imperial LAAT, and it's basically a stormtrooper dropship that looks like I don't know, it looks nasty is what it looks like. I'd hate to fight that thing. So are you guys all going to take his transport, or are you going to? Is anybody going to
By
take their own
nasty,
ride?
does it look? John's going to take his basically cargo ship.
And we'll clarify either later on in the episode or at a future date what the model of the ship actually is.
Well, I'm fine with it being U-wing. I can work with this.
Okay. Who's taking a ride with Morgan, who's in a very casual ship, and who's taking a ride with Jason, who is in a very imperial ship?
I'll take a casual.
I will go on the Imperial ship.
Okay.
It's
I'll go on the Imperial.
modified too.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyways,
sick.
I love that you say that like somebody please ride with me.
It's modified.
I mean,
will point
I
that
don't
out.
got to. Like my fucking ship is
Hyde.
awesome.
Someone please
Hyde, while
take a
you
ride
are
with me.
in Morgan's ship, you do notice there are several bullet holes on the inside.
If there are bullet holes, I'm going in the Imperial.
No, not holes, but more like blaster marks.
Blaster marks.
There was a fight in here. There was
I'm
a fight
still
in here
going
at
to.
one
No,
point.
I changed my mind. I walk in there and go back to the Imperial.
Okay.
All right, so Morgan, you fly your ship out, and you have to land a couple blocks away, in a
Out of
hangar.
curiosity,
In a
what
hangar.
time is it?
Say what?
What time is it?
Oh, that is a good question. You guys are landing in mid-afternoon. You guys are, let's say, 4:30 p.m. local time. Morgan has to land a couple blocks away in a hangar bay, but Price and crew You guys have an option, and since Jason, this is your ride, I'll let you choose. You can either land your dropship right smack dab in that big open space, or you can land it a little bit further away.
Probably best to move in on foot.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's too vulnerable if I just
Okie
make a big fucking spectacle of myself.
dokie. I mean, sometimes spectacles are good, but yeah, that is.
That's what she said.
Alright, cutting that out. Anyways. Alright. Okay. Moving on. You guys all approach on foot. Morgan, are you approaching from, and we're going to use the orientation of the picture as the compass, but are you going to approach from the north, the south, the east, or the west?
He'll approach from the south.
Okay, so you've only got that one street down at the bottom left corner.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you guys, since you all went together, I'm gonna have you guys approach from one side of the map exclusively. So north, south, east,
I was
west.
about to ask if I could kind of drop some guys off and then like have split up the team basically.
Yeah, I guess you could. So the question is, who are you
So
inserting
what I would
where?
suggest is we have us come in from the west and then deploy our stormtroopers on the east in case anybody tries to run.
Would we want one or two stormtroopers
I'm
with us,
sorry,
though?
what's going on? I had to run and do something.
You guys
We're
are
infilling.
Yeah.
I
So
would assume we would want at least two stormtroopers with us, probably.
yeah,
How big is our unit of stormtroopers?
You guys
Yeah.
are equipped with a unit of 7 stormtroopers.
So I'd say post 5 on the east side and bring 2 with us through the west.
Okay, and if we're going to bring
And
two
just
with
have
us,
5 on standby outside the map.
since we're going to have two with us, can I make a bit of a late request to my attire for the situation?
Yes, it is not too late.
Okay, if possible, I would like to be in the armament of an Imperial or stormtrooper captain.
Okie
I
dokie.
don't want to be dressed in my ISB material.
Alright.
Good
2
plan.
troopers from the west and then 5 troopers from the east. You guys enter and your troopers, let's see, are the troopers to the east holding position outside of your current map?
Why does it matter? They can't land a shot anyways.
Either that or right inside the map.
Okay, so they're chilling out on the streets.
I would put
Yeah.
him right in that little alcove they have there.
Just
Agreed.
blocking any runners. I'd have them split 3 and 2 on those 2 streets there to just block anybody who tries to run.
You mean that
That's
alcove right near the top street?
Yeah, the only entrance from the east.
Okay, yeah, they can chill out there.
Also,
And
what are
then-
those stairwells to? Anything?
So you see this, okay, so each double line right there is a doorway, and next to the staircases there are arrows. The bar is the only one that has the interior done, and the table and 2 side tables that you see there, they are the only ones that are underneath. They are underneath a second floor. So that second floor has tables and chairs on it as well.
So none of the other doors are going to be accessible for this purpose.
No, all of the doors are accessible. You could technically go and clear every single one of these houses. But first
Well,
of
I'm
all,
just wondering for possible escape routes of anybody trying to run away from us.
Yeah. So you guys have inserted, and I will go ahead and set the scene for you. From the north, there is no Imperials coming, so that's fine. It is a afternoon scene. The sun is starting to set in the sky as 5 stormtroopers approach from the east of this courtyard that is formed by the bar and the surrounding residential buildings. These 5 stormtroopers stand kind of off to the side next to a stairwell leading to a second-story building, or a second-story apartment, I should say. From the south approaches a lone trooper, that would be Morgan. And then from the eastern roads approach several stormtroopers, one of which is Ghoul, dressed in a stormtrooper captain attire, Price, who is in full stormtrooper gear, I assume, Rook, who is in his... are you going to be dressed in your Imperial commando armor, or are you going to be in your commando armor? And then at the back of the pack, kind of a looming giant above all of the troopers, is Hyde. And you guys approach this courtyard. The courtyard is shaped kind of like, for those of you listening, it's shaped kind of, in essence, a big rectangle. And taking up pretty much the entire side of one of the long sides of the rectangle is the bar. You turn and face the bar, and what you see is this big archway that's open leading into the bar. It's obvious that a metal grate can drop down in front of that archway to close it off for the evening, but the archway is open and you could walk inside. Above that archway is kind of a dais with a set of stairs off to your left that you could walk up to and be outside over top of the archway, and then walk in through one of the 2 sets of doors that are up on the dais. To the left of those stairs is another door that appears to be the bar's main entrance. And through the open archway, you can see an island bar being tended to by a droid and a human bartender. There are no patrons visible on the dais, and there are some patrons visible through the archway. None of them have noticed the Imperial presence gathering in the square. As for people outside of the square, I need everyone to roll plus sharp to see if they notice anything out of the ordinary.
Hey, Sigma.
Yes.
Important question.
Important answer.
I never actually clarified this with you. So, I've always seen that he doesn't actually wear any armor because of Behemoth's natural armor. Does that make sense?
Right.
And is that okay? So I'm basically just a giant brute of strength, but
Yes.
is that fine, or okay?
Yes, that is fine. Do you wear any kind of Imperial uniform though?
I thought he wouldn't, but I would also be very much willing to say, yeah, he does because of Lord.
Well, we will explore that, but for right now, armor is natural armor, and then he's wearing kind of, not necessarily civilian, but kind of just casual garb.
I'm the only one who didn't roll a 6.
Sure.
Yeah, but you still made up for it. You're good. Got a lot of sharp people in here. For people at home, Hyde rolled a 10. Morgan rolled an 8. Rook rolled an 11, Price rolled a 9, and Ghoul rolled an 8. And all of these are all very good. They are all successes within the system that we are using, which, just like the Oblivion campaign, is Monster of the Week, created by Evil Hat Games and Michael Sands. So you guys are technically investigating a mystery / reading a bad situation. Both are using plus sharp. So you guys are out in the courtyard, and you notice that several people are retreating back into their homes. This is common for Imperial, whenever the Imperials roll in.
Is there anybody moving quicker than anybody else?
Rook and Hyde, you guys both notice that there are a few people that move a little bit faster and with a little bit more caution than the rest of the people. One is located by the entrance to the bar. He retreats inside quickly. And one is next to the entrance to the bar, not the archway, the doorway. And he retreats inside quickly. and then one is actually by the staircase to the north. So
The
top
middle
left.
north staircase.
No, the actually yes, the northern staircase, the middle one that goes down and kind of goes to a basement.
Into that door.
Yeah, and in there. That's all you notice
So
for the
I
time being.
relay that over the Imperial comm
Tell them.
just to point it out.
Yeah, so one thing about this system is that you guys need to give a narrative descriptor of what you're doing and then roll for it. So it's not the classic D&D, yeah, I do that, when the dungeon master describes something good. You can't just say, yeah, I do that. You say, all right, I am going to... You either speak as you are in character or you do an action that would require a roll. Otherwise, you guys should be able to just explain what you do, say that you walk somewhere, do something, and I shouldn't need to describe. I should only be necessary to describe what you see and not what you do, for the most part.
Morgan's just going to go down to the bar
Okay.
and sit down, but he's going to be keeping an eye on that people of interest.
Okay. Is he sitting down at the half circle by the archway, one of those tables under there? Is he going to sit at the island bar or one of the tables?
He's going to sit at the table. He's going to sit at the top table, the one that gives him basically the view of the courtyard.
So does that mean you're on the second story, or are you at like that first top half circle table?
He'll be on the second story.
Okay, at one of those tables. Cool. You have a view of the bar. Do you want to roll to investigate or do anything, or are you going to chill out for right now?
He will just quickly investigate the people.
Okay.
Any of them also sketchy or?
Okay, so make sure that you have your hunter reference sheet pulled up that has all of your basic moves. It sounds like you're either investigating a mystery or reading a bad situation. So which are you going to do?
So wait, because I'm investigating rebels, aren't I?
Yes.
So I would get an extra +1 because I know my prey.
But that's the thing, we don't know our prey yet.
Well, the thing is, you get +1 ongoing when you knowingly investigate, pursue, or fight the breeder monster that caused your loss. And he is knowingly investigating rebels, is he not?
He is, or insurgents of the type. So I'll give you +1 to this one. So are you investigating a mystery or reading a bad situation?
Investigating a mystery.
Okay, go ahead and roll plus sharp, please. And everybody have in mind
yeah.
what you're kind of going to do after he finishes the roll. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, you hold 1. You can ask me one of the following questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
What is being concealed here?
Nothing is being concealed here per se, like an object is not being hidden. But you definitely see several sets of eyes are looking out the door because one person in particular came in. It was the guy that you actually you didn't see him, or well, no, Rook saw him and relayed. So it was the guy that Rook saw retreat into the bar. So he's currently sitting at a table with a couple of people, and then other sets of eyes are kind of eyeing the doors to the courtyard, and that is what you see. Let's get some input from Ghoul. What are you doing?
I'm just standing guard, just kind of scanning the room. If anything jumps out, I'm just kind of standing ready type thing.
Okay.
Nothing special.
Are you going, so no movements, you're just kind of just standing around?
Correct.
Okay. Jason, what you up to?
I was gonna do the same thing as Ghoul.
All right, so you two, are you guys chilling with the stormtroopers, or what are you doing?
I'm kind of meandering around.
Okay. Are you displaying your
looking at people.
firearm?
I have it ready, but I'm not like pointing it at anyone. But
Okay.
it is definitely the shit hits the fan.
Okay. And I heard you right. You said you're a shock trooper, yes?
Correct.
Ooh, Lovely. Rook, what are you up to?
I'm going to get Tash on the comms and have him display any known criminals within this area on my HUD, because that data should be held in the intel relay or whatever we had up. So I'm going to have him
You-
put any faces of known criminals up on my HUD and
Go
just
ahead.
try to compare faces to the crowd.
All right. Then I'm gonna have you. This sounds like an investigation roll, so go ahead and roll plus sharp, please, to see if you spot anybody that is a wanted criminal. And this will be a roll that is ongoing. So, if throughout your walk or time here in this particular sector, ooh, that's a 5, that's a no, then you will
Can't we
see
help
it.
him
So.
out?
Well, I'll
Wait,
ask him to keep just having that up on my HUD.
Aren't we meant to roll
continually do that.
2d6?
Yes, you are
Yeah,
meant to
can I, like-
roll 2d6.
Oh, that didn't do
So
it much
am I.
better.
Would you be more distracted by the faces on your HUD or the people in front of you?
I would be focusing more on the people in front of me and just
All right.
glancing up at the HUD, because I want to keep my eyes on the situation before staring at a HUD.
All right, Hyde, what are you up to?
So what is our specific mission currently? Like, what are we
To-
specifically supposed to be doing?
You are investigating the area looking for signs of rebel activity. And if you
Yeah, we're
find
just-
any rebel activity, eliminate
Then
it.
can I, instead of sticking with the pack, kind of just rotating around on my own and attempt to just kind of survey the areas where rebel scouts would be looking?
You certainly can. So you're rotating around. Which house are you going to hit first out of the ones on the square? Are you going to go towards the buildings to the left of the bar, or are you going to go? I guess I should reiterate in cardinal directions. Are you going to go east or west and then rotate?
We'll go east.
Are you going to just looky look, or are you going to roll to investigate or read a bad situation or anything like that?
I will roll to investigate a mystery.
Okay, that is 3 and 1. That is a 4. You see nothing of interest as you walk by, just people kind of just staring at you and kind of cowering away, seeing a big monster of a man. There is a bartender behind the counter at the island, and then there's also one behind the bar that's over to the left as you enter the tavern, or dive bar, I should say. I keep saying tavern. So for the listeners at home, you enter that archway, and off to your right, you see two. Sorry, what?
The listeners into the archway?
No. Anybody who were to walk through the archway, you would see 2 alcoves in the wall, kind of lining the wall to the right. And in those alcoves are kind of bench seating with tables, half circle tables, where the cut edge of the table lines up perfectly with the wall. So they're kind of like big circular booths for seating. In the middle of the floor, you've got kind of an island bar. Again, harken back to Mos Eisley, the deal there, where a lot of bottles and stuff were all there in the middle, and then around that was a standing bar, and behind that bar, between all of the bottles and everything and the counter, is a robot and a man who are tending to the customers seated around that bar. As you continue further into the structure off to your left, there are 4 or 5 tables, all with seats around them. And then even more to the left, particularly when you enter the single door, the ground level door to the bar, there is a large rectangular bar that is attached to the wall. If you entered through the archway, you of course have the floor above you, and you see the staircase between the back wall of the bar and the island bar where the robot and the human are. And then, of course, up there is a couple of tables, and that's where Morgan is currently sitting. Behind the big rectangular bar, there is it's a Twi'lek bartender. His skin is orange. He has long head tails behind him, and he looks to who's the closest to the bar right now currently, do you think, guys? I know
Wasn't there someone? Wasn't Morgan sitting at the bar?
No, Morgan
He's
was
sitting
sitting
at a
up
table.
top. This is by the rectangular bar. So, Price, weren't you making rounds?
Yeah.
Do
So
you
I guess
think-
you could put me there.
Okay. Or I could put you there, or I could put Rook there. Rook, I know you were kind of walking around too. I guess he'll address Price. He looks to you, Price, and says, "Excuse me. We do not have any trouble here. What brings you fine men of the Empire into this humble establishment?"
Alright, Jason's gonna look at him with no real urgency, just kind of say Imperial business and kind of leave it at that.
Sigma question.
Yes, answer.
Is there any way of checking out the robots to make sure that they can't be hacked of any some sort?
The robot, like the one behind the bar?
Absolutely.
I
mean, just
guess.
any robot.
Not really without jacking into it, though, which is going to cause a scene.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
but
mean, you
we're
could.
also Imperial soldiers. I doubt if we said we have to check your droid, if they would say.
I mean, we already made him seen, so we're
okay,
far
if we were
beyond
just
that.
like, hey, we need to check your droid and check if it knows anything about rebel activity in the area.
We got a giant fucking monster with us that
We
hasn't
do
made a
need-
scene.
I
we
mean,
do
the
need
monster's
to-
currently out in the
I'm with the
courtyard,
rebel.
so.
We need to make sure that we don't upset the locals, though, because that could fuel the rebellion even more. So
How
Mhm.
upset would locals
Us-
be if you went, I just want to check your droid? We're not destroying it. It'll be only like a minute, right? How long would it take to check a droid?
it's the same concept as going into somebody's house and searching it without permission.
But we do have permission.
I
You
mean,
are
we're
the-
here suspecting rebels, and if he is a legitimate non-rebel sympathizer, he'd be willing to let us look at his droid.
Exactly.
And if not, that would give us probable cause to say, hey, he's hiding something.
If we just make it clear that we're just we don't have to tell the truth. I don't believe. We just say, hey, it's our requirements. We have to check every droid in the area. Do you mind just letting us check out your droid? They're not going to
Yeah.
argue.
We just say rebel activity. Rebels are terrorists. We're watching for rebels.
Say we're just doing our job, trying to keep you safe.
Just as
If I'm outnumbered here, go for it. But I do think it's a bad idea.
I don't
I mean, it is a bad idea, but it's something we gotta do.
bad idea, but fuck it, we're the Empire.
So one of you guys needs to approach the bartender if you're going to go through with this.
Not me.
I'm still outside.
I'm out in the courtyard. I was giving you guys ideas. You don't have to do that. I just thought that would be a good idea.
Morgan is wearing casual clothing.
All right, approach him. Just say, I approach.
I would be approaching the bartender and asking him, sir, we are investigating potential rebel activity in the area, and we need to verify the authenticity of your Android unit here.
I hardly see why my droid would be part of some terrorist group. He's literally attached to the counter, but whatever we can do to aid you in your investigation, certainly we will provide. Hey,
I feel like
Steve's
Igor,
gonna say
and he
there's
claps his
nothing
hands. Igor, give the nice Imperial trooper access to the droid. And
Hey.
so you guys have access to the droid behind the counter.
I feel like
Someone better walk me through this shit, because I'm not.
I was going to say, who has the knowledge of how to hack a droid?
That's a good point. I'm outside.
Okay. Well, okay.
Now we're going to look
Screw
like a
it.
bunch of idiots if we don't.
Well,
Is anyone acting weird that we've done this?
I'm an undercover agent. I would assume that I
weirder,
have some training in the area of espionage, correct?
Yes.
So could I kind of fly by the seat of my pants and figure this shit out?
Oh, I mean, you could.
Roll to act under pressure.
How's your plus cool, my guy? So, Ghoul, mark experience, because that's not gonna do it. A 3 is definitely a bomb.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. So, nice. Hyde, I'll get to you in a second. Ghoul, how do you think you would botch messing around with this robot to see if you could get intel out of it?
Break one of the panels as I'm taking it off.
Okay, so
That
If you're taking
Anything
the
to
droid
help you.
apart,
Here, let me just snap your droid's neck.
I mean, I would use a data port instead of opening a panel.
Open a panel to data port, and dude. You think I know what I'm doing?
You break the cable as you try and put it in upside down.
Oh my god. You break the computer as you try to put a headphone jack in an HDMI port.
I actually
Anyways,
fried my motherboard by trying to do that.
Okay,
When you
Wait,
try
what?
and pour water down
So,
the droid to
question.
see if it helps it work better.
I know I've screwed this up at this point, correct?
you have very much screwed it up. You tried taking the panel off of the back instead of hardwiring into its head, and you just wound up messing up its control over its own arms. So now it's just looking at you very, very sad, wondering why you did this to it.
Excellent.
Do we
Can
have
I
the
try
credits to pay
to
for it?
convince the bartender that this was a rebel sabotage, or is that not an option?
Roll plus charm
my
to see if
God.
you can convince him that this was rebel sabotage.
Oh my god.
Actively
God.
takes a sledgehammer
Don't
and slams it. The rebels broke the droid!
Oh wait, that was rolled wrong. I should have been +2, not 32.
Yeah, plus 32. No.
Rolls a 36 in the first match.
That would be a 6 times 6. Negative.
Oh boy.
Morgan, I have a question for Morgan. What are you doing right now? Because right now you're watching from, like, I'm assuming Morgan's just watching from the balcony, shaking his head as
Yeah,
Ghoul messes up the
I'm-
bartender droid.
I'm working with idiots. And he's just gonna look back towards the target.
So, Hyde, you actually notice as you're checking out the buildings to the east, you turn slightly and look past the group of stormtroopers that are standing there in the courtyard, and you see a figure dart down an alleyway to the north. Let's see. Let's go back to Rook. What are you up to right now as Ghoul is fooling around with this thing? And Ghoul, you do need to roll a 2d6 plus charm in order to convince them that this was rebel sabotage.
Oh.
I'm not accepting a roll of 36, my guy.
What do you mean?
Are you sure?
32 is completely valid.
How's that?
Oh no. So, so with an 11, oh my god. Oh my.
Did he just actually do that?
He just actually did it.
Let's go!
Good, someone on a plus 10. Oh my god. Okay.
Offer to bring it back to Imperial Command so that we can repair the droid for them without
No,
charge.
I mean, okay, so then
Wait,
they'll
did you say it was mounted to the counter?
It is mounted to the counter.
Never mind then.
But I want you to act out like I want you to act this out with me. Igor, the human bartender, is standing there like, what? The droid's arms just stopped working. Like, what's going on?
I've seen this before a couple times. It is a type of sabotage that the rebels use. If they will hack into the optical pieces of the droid to use it as a camera, and when anyone tries to investigate it in this particular way that I did, it will self-destruct and start to melt down from the inside. That is why I did it this way instead of a more normal hardwiring situation.
I like this like poor old man that's like trying to make his living in this world.
Okay.
He just broke his droid and said it was
And lied to his face about how it happened.
It's undercover work, baby.
And convinced him of it. It's the big thing.
Wow, I
12
didn't
years
know
that
that
droid.
even. I didn't even know that was possible. All right. And he kind of just steps back away from the droid and kind of goes back to work. Rook, what are you up to right now?
I saved up for 12 years for that droid.
I'm still just scanning faces in the crowd. so-
Jason, are you still doing your rounds?
Yeah, but I'm also kind of watching this unfold, and just
I rolled a
so
7 for
extremely
that,
happy.
by the way. Because that was going to be a continual check, wasn't it?
Yes, and 7 is a success. So you see some similarities in the faces you're scanning, but no exact matches. Hyde.
So, like, maybe a familial relation?
Maybe, but that would require some additional investigation if you wish to pursue that, or if you wish to just keep walking.
Now, what's the target doing in all this, by the way?
He's sitting at the table that is closest to the bottom of the staircase.
And how's he reacting to all this?
He is looking at the Imperials rather nervously. He's keeping an eye on Rook in particular, just because Imperial commandos are menacing as all get out. Hyde, what
Okay.
are you up to right now?
So I saw a shady figure go down to the go between two alleys.
Yes.
So I would imagine that a reek would have a very good sense of smell.
Probably.
Then I am going to use one of my traits that I use, which allows me to transform into Behemoth. Shapeshifter, which allows me to turn into him.
But-
I'm using Reek's senses. I get a +1 when rolling Investigative Mystery when using an alternate form Superior Sense. Reek's Superior Sense of Smell is what I'm going to be using to track down these figures while rolling Investigative Mystery.
Just to clarify, you transformed into a behemoth just now, right?
It doesn't say that I have to transform in this.
Okay. In that case, you'll just... Okay. Sounds good.
Unless you want to make it a rule, but since I have control over Behemoth, I figured that would be reasonable. But I couldn't use one of the other creatures that I know I have because I don't have control over them yet. Is how I've been kind of picturing it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. You follow the sense. Go ahead and roll to investigate a mystery. So that's plus sharp, and then add +1. You rolled a 6, which will not cut it. Go ahead and mark experience. You try to use your sense of smell to investigate what that shadowy figure was. And instead, you walk around the corner and you see nothing. The trail has gone cold. You don't smell anything out of the ordinary using your sense of smell. Rook, you see a face pop up on the wanted roster, and you see a matching face in the crowd. What do you do?
I observe him to see what he's doing, first of all.
He's looking at you very, very nervously.
Well, I'm not going to
Or
point my head directly
side-eyeing
at him.
you, I should say. But
I'm going to do the same with him, but since I have a visor on, he can't tell that I'm looking directly at him, and I'm just going to keep an eye on him very closely as well. But I'm not going to make it look like I'm looking at him.
Jason, what are you up to? Are you still walking around, or are you going to start prodding some people?
I guess I'll start prodding some people. Sounds
All right,
fun.
how are you going to go about this? You've got patrons at the island bar. You've got patrons sitting around tables. You've got some at the bar over in the corner. You've got 1 or 2 in the booths.
I think I'll go with the people in the booths.
Describe to me what this looks like. There are 2 human people in one of the booths. One is male, one is female. How do you approach them?
I'm just gonna approach them and inform them that we're doing a search, like a routine search, and sorry to inconvenience them, but we need to take a look at any IDs they have on them, or anything that has like their name or something that we can look through to see if it has any connection to sympathizers or any rebel cells.
They present their ID. Both have valid Imperial identification. They look very concerned and worried.
All right, I'm gonna call command to have them run these names and see anyone they may know, or if they have any connection whatsoever, whether it be like a neighbor or a friend or a family member that may help the rebellion.
You get Tash on the horn, and he comes back and says, yep, these guys are clean. All associated people are clean as well. They don't appear to be affiliated with anybody who is part of the rebel cells here, or related to anybody who is affiliated with rebel cells. So those are clear. Go ahead and move on to a new set of people, if available.
All right, then he'll just give it back to them and thank them for their time and apologize for any inconvenience.
They nod, and both of them clear out of the bar. And actually, you notice a couple of people stand up and kind of look at the Imperial soldiers spaced out around the bar, and they all kind of move out, and there are still a few people sitting in the bar. And so here's what happens next. I need, you know what? No. So, as some people clear out, some people just stand up and stay there, and they look very strange. They're looking at.
Can I inform the rest of my people around, the other Imperials around me via, I guess, helmet?
Just
Communication.
go ahead and just say what you would through the helmet.
This is TK8412. We have a number of suspicious individuals within the AO. Watch yourself. They have not become hostile, but they're acting oddly.
As you say that, the one that you were watching, Rook, takes a blaster from his side and from under the table and levels it at the shock trooper. And
Can I jump
prepares
down from
to-
the second story
you
and kick him?
you can do that. I do have a
I was
question
gonna
though.
raise and fire since I already had an eye on him, and you weren't necessarily watching him though.
No, I was. I said I
You
was.
guys were both watching him. I have a question, TK. Were all 7 stormtroopers, like non-player character stormtroopers, on comms with you?
Yes, I did it to the entire group. Like, it
Okay.
would be anyone with
It'd
Imperial
be on
comms.
basic Imperial comms.
Okay, so I have a question for Hyde then. Are you moving towards the bar? What are you doing?
Did I completely lose those other people?
Yes, the shadow that darted down the hall or down the alleyway is gone.
Probably call out to team. Do I have a way of doing that since I don't have a helmet?
You have
You would have a comm link.
Then I would use that in order to contact them and tell them that I saw one going down a dark alley. And then I would probably ask them where they were and then regroup, which I'm assuming bar. Or ask if any of them need help. Rook, do you need some?
I should be okay.
You sure you don't want like a giant bodyguard?
I don't think I will be the one that needs a bodyguard. Currently, Price is the one that will need a bodyguard since he's getting a rifle leveled at him.
Can I do something about that, by the way?
Can we react to that quick before
so
that
there
continues?
is all right. This is how it's gonna go down.
Something about that, by the way.
Creed, go ahead and roll plus cool to act under pressure.
I got an 11 for fight, by the way.
Okay,
For-
okay. Actually, so hold on, Creed. I guess a better thing to do would be what are you gonna do? Are you gonna fire back? Are you gonna hit the floor? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna fire back.
Okay, in
I
that
guess.
case, you need to roll plus tough to kick some ass.
Yeah, what Morgan is going to do after this is he's going to drop kick him from the second floor.
Well, that's if
The thing is,
he doesn't land.
Yeah, it's probably not advisable to do that.
Yeah, so Jason, aka TK8412, just rolled an 8, and on an 8 to kick some ass. On a 7+, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. The amount of harm is based on the established dangers of the game. Okay, so you are firing with what? What is the damage rating on your weapon?
It is a assault rifle.
The assault rifle is 3 harm, close area allowed, reload.
Okay, so 3 harm. All right, so this guy gets a shot off for 2 damage as you fire into him. So what kind of happens is you blast him in the chest, and he shakes. But as he shakes and goes down, he pulls the trigger, and a bolt goes off and hits you kind of in the shoulder, doing 2 damage. However, this does not ignore armor. So if you have armor, then it will negate some of that damage. Okay. How much armor do you have? Do you know?
I have combat armor, and I think that is 2. 1 second.
Yeah, that's 2 armor.
So the blaster bolt hits it harmlessly. It feels like you just got punched in the shoulder really, really hard, but other than that, it's fine. There might be a bruise there later, but otherwise you're good.
Fucking hell.
And you just eliminated him. As you hose him down, a guy steps out from the corner by the front door and levels a blaster at you, Jason, and then a guy who was
Oh,
at
goddammit.
a table closer to the bar stands up and fires a shot or prepares to fire a shot at Rook.
I'm gonna fire at the one near the door.
Okay. Go ahead, roll to kick some ass.
Another 11. I will inflict terrible harm.
Okay, so +1. How much damage does your rifle do?
I'm using my hand cannon.
Okay, which
And that does 3 base, so now it does 4 damage.
Okay, so this guy just got blasted in the chest, and he still fires off another shot, though, with his basic rifle at Rook, and hits him for 2. Rook, do you have any armor on that would negate that damage?
Lore-wise, yes, but playbook-wise, I don't think so.
In that case, to make things fair, because you do have armor and you would have like intense training, I'm gonna let you roll plus cool to act under pressure and get out of the way before you get hit. So go ahead and roll plus cool to see if you can negate any of that damage.
11.
11. You dodge out of the way as a blaster bolt flies past you and hits the wall, and Morgan blasts the guy in the chest, leaving a very deep cavity in the guy's chest. The guy by the bar gets ready to levy a shot. Rook, what are you going to do?
So, are there any hostiles left active?
Yes, this guy who's getting ready to shoot at Jason again. Another one is getting ready to shoot at Jason.
So, I'm going to use Precise Strike on him with my DC 17, which would be probably closest to the Magnum. So, the Magnum does 3 harm, but with Precise Strike, I roll plus Tough. So, I got an 8, which so I got
means...
3 plus 1 from the actual attack.
Okay.
3 from my weapon plus 1 from the attack on harm, so I got 4 harm out of it.
So you blast him, he's down, he fires off a shot that bounces off of Jason's armor again. Gosh, you seem to be like a damage sponge even more than Hyde.
Get fucked.
Speaking of Hyde, he's outside, and so are you moving towards the bar now that you hear the sounds of blaster fire, or what's going on?
If I hear the sound of blaster fire, I'm gonna go for probably a flank, cover any sort of exit that they have, and then go in from there.
So the immediate hostiles are down, right?
Yes.
Like, how many did we expect from this fight?
No idea.
Unknown, but you're about to find out.
So I have a feeling I'm gonna like walk around the back, and there's gonna be like 30 soldiers just standing there, and I'm gonna be like, "What's up?"
If you don't mind me interjecting here, I'm going to relay to the exterior units that all interior hostiles are eliminated, but fan out and make sure there's nobody else.
And so they fan out. Okay, that's not good for that one. But he gets... Oh dear. He gets... Okay, that's good.
God damn you,
Alright,
Sigma, with the
and then
rolling.
there's that one. Okay, that's not good. That's not good.
Is it not good for us or not good for
Then,
them?
that's good for them. It's also good
Damn
for
it.
them.
God damn it, Sigma.
There's that one. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not
like
good.
fucking
Okay.
every
So
time I
lucky
throw
for
a
you,
grenade.
the rebels suck at shooting.
That's not how lore
shit,
goes.
that's a lot of rolls for the rebels.
Okay. Never
All right.
mind.
So
Oh, boy.
as the okay. So are you guys all staying inside, or are you guys kind of just
As soon as all the interior hostiles are down, I'm going to be moving back to the door and looking back into the courtyard.
So yes, Morgan's just going to go onto the balcony.
Okay.
And
Jason, what are you up to?
Have people tried to stop killing me? I'll probably move to the door, see if there's anyone trying to put some hot ones in people.
Okay. Ghoul, what you up to?
I'm gonna follow the lead of Price, considering
Okay.
I'm supposed to be a stormtrooper captain. I'm gonna follow the lead of the quote-unquote commanding officer.
Alrighty.
FYI, how wide is the door to the tavern?
The large archway is a good 6-7 feet in width. The doorway that's over to the left side, if you're
Next
looking
to
at
the
it from
table?
the outside, yeah, next to the table, that one is the size of a normal door.
So I'm going to be posted on the left side of that arch.
On the left side of the arch or the left side of the door?
The arch.
Okay, and then Jason, are you on the arch or the door?
Yeah, I'd be looking out from one of the sides.
Okay, and then Ghoul,
arch
are
of the
you?
door. Yeah, the side.
Ghoul, where you at?
Behind Price.
Okay.
Not looking out, just there to support, and I would have the 2 stormtroopers behind me.
You watch as the 5 stormtroopers in the courtyard fan out. One of them actually goes in that alleyway you investigated, and then shortly thereafter you hear a loud blast and you see them kind of fly backwards into the street and onto the ground dead. And you see a rebel step forward holding what looks like a slug thrower. Which is the Star Wars equivalent of a shotgun, with another rebel posted behind him. Morgan, as you look out of your door up on top, or well, I should clarify, did you actually go out onto the balcony, or did you?
yes,
Okay.
he went out.
Which alleyway is this?
This would be the right side north alleyway.
So I have a perfect shot at the mouth of that alley at least.
Yes, you do. Morgan, you see several rebels dotting the roofs of the houses surrounding this square, and then you also hear rebels coming up the alleyway to the side. The remaining 4 stormtroopers that were out in the courtyard start backing up towards the bar as the area around the dive bar just starts crawling with rebels. There is very, very much rebel activity in the area.
Cool. Can I fire at one of them on the roof?
To clarify, there are rebels on the roofs to the left of you and to the right of you. So are you just gonna start blasting away?
Yeah, we're gonna start blasting.
So I assume you're using your hand cannon that is plus...
Yes.
How
Plus
many?
3.
The rebel stumbles back and then, or takes a stumble and then falls off the roof of the building, leaving 2 more on the roof next to him. Next in the order is, we'll say, Ghoul. You haven't done anything in a while. What are you going to do?
I'm going to... Well, first I'm going to radio for reinforcements, because I assume... first, I am aware of all this that is happening, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well then I'm going to radio for reinforcements, because I doubt
Right.
we can take this on ourselves. Can I order the stormtroopers to engage?
You can.
Okay, then I'll just radio for reinforcements and order the stormtroopers to engage, and then stick with Price.
Okay. Could we get some dialogue in here?
Ah, shit.
Character voice.
Which one do we do first?
Either one, up to you. You're the one that's radioing.
What are the call signs for stormtroopers then?
Just you can just say you and you.
Great, yeah, that works. That works. Right, so base, we need reinforcements back at the cantina in the town. Send as many as you can rally up in 5 minutes. We're under heavy fire and about to be in a lot more shit. And then we're gonna close comms. Point to both stormtroopers. You two support Morgan, and then turn to Price. The last thing I would do, turn to Price. What's your call, sir?
Copy that. Moving to support Morgan.
You cut me off guard with that one, Sigmund, not gonna lie. You cut me off guard with that.
What? I say you must do a narrative descriptor and act out as your character, and you're not ready for a character voice? Okay.
I'm excited that we're doing it this way. I didn't expect it. That's my fault. That's very much my fault. That is awesome.
Okay.
We are very professional.
Alright, so those two stormtroopers go up. Price.
Alright. First off, since I have a gunship, we can use that. Throwing that out there. Blow shit up.
I mean, you could, but did you get a pilot to fly you, or did you fly it?
Do you think I fucking know how to fly?
Good point.
Yes, as you own it.
I mean,
No,
I
it's
own
just
a boat,
contracted
but I
with him.
can't
Technically
sail.
speaking, he's the shock trooper in charge of it. He is not the pilot.
I own a car and I still don't know how to drive. Doesn't mean I wreck it.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Hold on, hold on. So that's entirely up to you. Just know that close air support covereth a multitude of sins.
And
And close air support and friendly fire can sometimes be extremely difficult to teleport.
And
Okay,
everybody
call
in
him
this
in.
party,
It's
stay out
all
of
on
the air.
you. Call him in if you want to call him in.
fuck it. I don't want to deal with that. It sounds like a hassle.
Too much paperwork.
Exactly. That's a good point.
What
Alright,
level a city block in the name of the Empire? Eh.
I mean, I'd do it.
No, it's if he hits friendly, the rest of it doesn't give a shit.
I mean, it's all on
Hey,
you. If you want to do it,
what
then
I
go
did
for
last
it.
week.
But
Well,
Hearts
no,
and minds. Hearts and minds.
Yeah, now they're all over the place.
that's stupid. But in all seriousness, what can I see from my position?
are you to the right of the archway or the left?
Right of the archway.
You can see there are two guys on the roof.
Okay, what are they doing exactly?
Getting ready to shoot at you and your party.
Are they currently shooting, or are they just trying to figure out where everyone is? Not really taking cover, just kind of fucking around.
They're both aiming at Morgan, who is on the top level, and his two supporting stormtroopers, and they are firing off rounds trying to hit them.
Anyone have any grenades?
No.
Nope.
Is that the same guy that said, I don't care what happens to my teammates? Asking for grenades?
Hold up.
Let's think about this for a second.
Alright, since nobody has grenades, I guess I'll just,
I am a
Try-
grenade.
okay.
Someone had to say it.
No, nobody did.
Thank you for that insight, I guess. Yeah, I'll just shoot at him, I guess.
9.
I'll
All right.
Got a 9.
They continue firing, but I believe so you've got an assault rifle that's 3.
Yes.
Okay, one of them falls off the roof as you hit them with a barrage of laser fire. Let's see. Next in the order is Rook. What are you going to do?
So there's obviously contacts up on the rooftops. Is there anybody still in that alleyway?
Yes, you see the guy with the shotgun, and you see a guy behind him. From your vantage point, you can also see contacts on the roof in the top right-hand corner, as well as one guy coming around the corner from the bottom east alleyway.
So I'm actually going to move over to the other side of the archway to conceal more of my body, and then shoulder my rifle on the left and peek out around that corner and start engaging the guy with the shotgun.
All right, go ahead and roll to kick some ass.
Can I do precise strike instead?
Absolutely.
So I got a 7, so 4 damage on the guy with the shotgun.
The guy with the shotgun was not in range of you, so that's 4 damage on him. You hit him with a barrage, and he staggers backwards, but then slides up against the wall and continues to stay standing. He's not dead. The guy behind him, however, will launch a volley. He will roll to kick some ass. That's a 7. 2 harm to you, sir. However, since you are super concealed and he was at a bad angle, I will lessen it to -1 harm for you. So please mark 1 harm on your sheet.
Will
Next
do.
in the order is Hide. So, to my knowledge, you don't have any blasters, do you?
Nope.
You're just
Huh?
gonna go rip some limbs off, aren't you?
So, from my understanding, last I saw was a man with a shotgun. Has that changed from any position? That's all.
Nope. He's still in that alleyway in front of you.
Do I know if he sees me?
You do not. He appears to be more focused on the archway to the bar because that is where Rook is currently shooting from.
Are any of them interested in Morgan?
Yeah, the guys on the roof that can see you very plainly are very interested in you.
Yeah, I'm gonna rush him and try and knock him over.
Roll to kick some ass.
13. I sure hope this works well. Now, just to be clear, if I were to do the attack drives the enemy away, it would just be this man.
It would be this man
We don't
and the
want
person
to drive them away.
standing next to him.
We want to kill them or bring them in.
Either or.
Capture or kill. Don't make them run away and live to fight another day. That's not our objective.
No, but if I can get I was asking to clarify, like, there's no way that itself was gonna make the entire enemy rebel camp just gonna go, okay, and run away now.
No.
Oh man, he took our shotgun, run away now! Okay. Hold all advantage in fight.
Okay. So everyone is taking +1 forward. So write it down. I'll make a note in notes.
+1 for rolls or +1 damage?
+1 for rolls.
How long does that last?
The rest of the fight.
And I would, just to be clear, when I'm ramming into this guy, I would like to basically use my horns to throw him as far as I can and disarm him.
So are you going
Literally, or
are you gonna like fully morph, or are you
No,
Hulk?
but I do have my horns out. Like, my
Okay.
horns are a consistent of my disfiguration from the binding with Behemoth.
Okay. I want you to roll plus cool, please, to see if you can maintain control or if you kind of start, I don't know, not losing it, but per our conversation a little while ago, you indicated to me that you had kind of an anger thing going. So I don't know if that's still the case or
because of, like I said before, Behemoth or Hyde can hear all of the voices of all the monsters in him. They all can talk to him, so it kind of like all shrouds into one and makes him very angry all the time. So he just kind of has to sit there and repress everything, which is why he's normally aggressive or not talking.
All right, then, as you slam into this guy, stabbing him with your horn and just sending him flying backwards. Oh, that's not good. Sending him flying backwards, dropping his shotgun, you hear the voices in your head go,
Yes, yes, destruction, pain, more.
and you start. You're
Nice.
going to roll with disadvantage, or not disadvantage.
I mean, if I completely fail, I could turn into Behemoth and just go buck wild. But the only problem with that is the fact of the one perk I took of Dark Master with the curse.
Okay.
That would be considered failure, and
Yeah. So, do you want to say that you have to fail multiple checks to completely just lose it, or do you want to say that it's one and done? But you're easily calmed down, like you can fight to regain control.
I'd say as long as it's Behemoth I'm using, I can fight to regain control.
Okay.
As of right now.
Alright.
That seems to make the most sense of it. He's the one that he's bonded with the most, so if he's using characteristics that he gains from Behemoth, which right now is the embodiment he's taking, then I would imagine that he is not full control, no, but as like if he rolls worse on cool, then he will start to lose control. But overall, he's fine for at least a couple rolls. But like any other creature, I believe we said if I roll a 2, whenever I'm trying to transform, then I transform into a new creature and I have 0 control.
Here's what we will do to kind of resolve this. Everybody go ahead and roll to kick some ass one more time. Everybody roll plus tough. So here's what happens.
Imperial
and
March only.
We're gonna put a wrap on the episode for the evening. So Hyde kind of. Are we saying that you're transforming, or are you just kind of beefing out a little bit more? And you're slowly approaching just being full behemoth. Like, are you completely behemoth now? Like, you're on all fours wrecking things, or are you kind of just becoming more of an ogre, I guess?
As of right now, we'll stay just kind of an ogre.
All right, here's how this works, or here's how we'll resolve this. Morgan, you poke your head out of the second story door of the bar, and the door frame next to you gets lit up, and you duck back inside. One of the stormtroopers steps out and gets hit in the head and chest, and as he tumbles back, you step out, level your hand cannon, and pop off a shot, knocking out, or not knocking out, killing the rebel on the roof across from you. Hyde, you, after stabbing the guy with a shotgun in the chest with your horn and sending him flying, you pick up the remaining rebel in the alleyway and just slam him against the wall of the building, and it leaves a human-shaped indent in the wall as the rebel slides down to the ground, completely dead. Ghoul, you step out and try to take a shot at one of the rebels coming around the corner of one of the buildings, but they get you first and hit you for 2 points of damage. The other stormtroopers step out and eliminate the 2 rebels on the rooftops across from you. And then, as all seems quiet, 2 more rebels come around the corner of the bar and try to get the jump on you guys. But Rook and Price are on top of it and blast them as they come around the corner. All seems quiet until you hear the sound of a door just being broken open with sheer force, and out of the alleyway, we'll say the northwestern alleyway, steps a large figure, about 6 feet tall, in heavy plated armor, holding a heavy repeater.
God damn it, Tech.
As you see this, he's in perfect line of sight with you, Rook, and you see the barrels spinning up.
Damn it, Tash.